Hello and welcome to National Focus for Wednesday, July 10, 2024. I am Julian Morris. In the headlines, Dominica receives first shipment of equipment for geothermal power plant. Electoral modernization process continues in Dominica. And livestock farmers told to be ready for National Abattoir. The details of the headline stories and more when we return.
Ride safe, wear a helmet, safer roads in the nature aisle. This message was brought to you by the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Welcome back. A significant step towards the implementation of another important phase of Dominica's geothermal development project on Wednesday. The Honorable Minister for Energy, Dr. Vince Henderson, and the General Manager of the Dominica Geothermal Development Company, Fred John, were on hand for the offloading of important components of the power plant towers.
We enter into another phase of our geothermal development efforts. What we are witnessing here today is the arrival of a ship, well, it came in last night actually, all the way from Israel, bringing in the equipment, first set of equipment for the geothermal power plant. When I say first set, not necessarily the first things that they will need, but it's the first shipment, major shipment, the biggest shipment, with about 20, cooling towers for the geothermal project. And these are huge equipment, about 20 tons, 22 tons. These are massive. And it is important to have those things in so that to ensure that they can be positioned, and once the plant is constructed, will be installed during that process.
The Honourable Minister says it's important to have these components here, and he expects the process to unfold over the next few days. This will involve the offloading and transportation to Loda, where the geothermal power plant will be built.
We have experience. That's a good thing about it. We have experience in moving heavy equipment from the port to Loda. We have invested over $5 million in ensuring that the roads are suitable for accommodating the heavy trailers with all this equipment. We're talking about 60-foot long equipment. So this is a massive operation, but we have experience doing this, and I have no doubt that things will go on, smoothly.
There is an entire logistical team supporting the operations. Additional equipment for the construction of the geothermal power plant is expected over the next few months.
We also expecting this week the commencement of works on the site in Loda to prepare for the power plant. A contract has been awarded to a local company, and that company has already mobilized on the site and will begin excavation works to ensure that they can prepare the site for the construction of the power plant. So we're making progress, and we're very excited about that.
Mr. Fred John believes the arrival of this shipment is timely.
Absolutely. I mean, we've told the public that there are three parts to this project. The first one is the drilling, which is now completed. The second one is the power plant construction, and this is the first set of equipment for the power plant. So this is really important.
The third component of the project will comprise the transmission network.
So we are also working on that in parallel, and we will have a lot more information for the public, especially the residents of the Roseau Valley, in about 4 weeks' time. Since we signed the contract for developing the power plant in December of last year, we've had a definite date, which is December 2025. So that's good. But we also, as you know, we're very proactive in communicating with the public. So we had a public meeting, I think last Thursday in Loda. So we shared information with them as to the exact steps ahead of us.
The electoral modernization process remains a topic of discussion in Dominica. Following a series of consultations last year, external parties, including the OAS, OECS, CARICOM, and the Commonwealth Secretariat, have shared their opinions on the proposed legislation, which they believe to be reasonable. In May, government provided the Electoral Commission and the Chief Elections Officer with copies of the proposed legislation as part of the Electoral Reform process, in accordance with Section 51 of the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
The intention was to have received from them by the end of June their observations with regards to the bills that were sent to them. Since then, they have written to me, that's to say the chairman of the commission wrote to me, indicating that they will need more time and requesting that deadline be extended to the end of July of this year. I was a bit disappointed because we wanted to advance it in end of June, but it's a reasonable request.
Prime Minister Skerrit emphasized that hearing from the Electoral Commission is a crucial consideration in the electoral modernization process.
The Constitution says that we would have to bring it to the attention. Now, bring it to the attention is not that they can direct us, but I feel that it's important for us to hear from them. And so I have accepted their request for the extension to end of July. And what I have said to other stakeholders, while we will not send you the reports, the bills directly to you and so on, what we have done is to place it on the government website. At the same time it was sent, just a couple of days after it was sent, they were sent to the Electoral Commission. And anybody in Dominica, any organization in Dominica, any group in Dominica can have access to this legislation, to these bills.
The public is invited to submit any observations to Attorney General Honorable Levi Peter.
If you read the bills and you say, okay, well, Honorable AJ, I accept ABCD, but E and F, I have issue with it, and I would suggest that you include this and that in it, then we can look at it. But instead, the opposition wants to go and create, their whole intention is to see whether they can have regime change. You know, they can have a 1979 situation and government change, and they come into government by default in a surreptitious manner. You understand? That's the intention. Now, when they speak privately, the same organization and the opposition elements speak privately, they will say, well, you know, the bills have 95% of what we want, the bills have it. But what's the 95% you're talking about? Why don't you tell the public, okay, well, I've read the bill, and I agree with A, B, C, D, F, G.
Dominica joined the rest of the world in observance of the JCI International Human Duties Day on Wednesday. International Human Duties Day serves as a reminder that leaders, individuals, and nations have shared responsibilities to address the challenges facing humanity collectively.
We recognize and embrace our shared responsibilities, particularly in the realm of health, wellness, and social services. Health is not a luxury. It's a fundamental right for all. It is the very foundation upon which we build our lives, communities, and futures. Every individual deserves the right to live comfortably and healthily with access to the care they need.
Leaders should make the effort to ensure that every citizen is able to access quality healthcare while creating environments that promote health and wellness.
Our duty as leaders, caregivers, and citizens is to ensure that every person has the opportunity to achieve the highest standard of health. This is not merely about access to medical services, but also about creating environments that promote well-being, prevent illness, and foster resilience. From clean water and nutritious food to mental health support and safe living conditions, we must address all facets of health.
He encouraged leaders to make their health systems one where even the most vulnerable of society can seek care and treatment.
Good health adds life to our years, and our mission is to add quality and purpose to the years of life for every individual. Our health systems must be inclusive, equitable, and robust, reaching out to the most vulnerable and marginalized. It is our duty to break down barriers to healthcare and to innovate solutions that meet the needs of all our citizens. That is why, as global citizens, we must share the individual and collective responsibility to respect the health of others.
International Human Duties Day is the brainchild of the Junior Chamber International, as they believe that recognizing and fulfilling human duties as leaders can contribute to global development and cooperation. July 10 is an annual reminder for all nations about their duty towards humanity, fostering mutual respect, promoting sustainable practices, boosting economic growth, and ensuring social justice, thereby contributing positively towards global peace. Demolition work is underway, paving the way for the construction of a new national abattoir. In April, government awarded the contract for the rebuilding of the abattoir to local company Regional Contractors, Inc.
Well, at the stage we are with demolition, we're doing some renovation on the existing pig abattoir. So because the flooring was not good, so we're repairing the flooring right now. So the demolition is just that part of it. When we get to the actual construction of the chicken abattoir, then we have to do some more demolition works on the chicken side.
The contract entails construction of a new chicken abattoir to include renovations where necessary to the existing plant.
Currently, we are in the design phase, where we're doing the designs, trying to put something together that will meet the standards required by the government. We're still in design phase. We're just picking up data and trying to put things together to submit a final proposal to the government for approval. Currently, we are 2 months into the contract. 2 months into the contract, and yeah, we are basically on time.
Government is targeting an agriculture sector which is resilient, diversified, market-driven, competitive, and contributes to an environmentally sustainable, prosperous, healthy, and food-secure nation.
We're looking to supply or to deliver chicken abattoir that will process or have the capacity to process 1,000 chicken birds per hour. That will give us 8,000 birds in an 8-hour shift.
Livestock farmers are reminded to remain in a state of readiness to service the national abattoir, which is due to be completed by May of next year.
The abattoir is coming on stream, the chicken abattoir is coming on stream, and for it to function, it needs to have a good supply of birds. Without the supply, it cannot function, it will just be another white elephant. So the farmers that doing poultry should start getting the act together so that the abattoir is completed. It can function to its full capacity.
The theme of the agriculture sector is resetting agriculture to contribute $700 million to the national GDP by 2030. You're watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. At the start of what is predicted to be a devastating hurricane season, Canada is providing support to the Caribbean region in the wake of Hurricane Beryl. Honorable Ahmed Hussein, Minister of International Development, announced that Canada is providing over $1 million in humanitarian assistance. This funding will allow Canada's humanitarian partners to provide life-saving assistance. Of this amount, $500,000 will be allocated to the World Food Programme for emergency food assistance and logistics services. As part of Government of Canada project with the Canadian Red Cross Society's Emergency Disaster Assistance Fund, $160,000 will be allocated to the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Society's relief operations. In addition, Canada is also deploying essential relief items to the Jamaica Red Cross, valued at up to $350,000. $200,000 will be allocated to the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, CIDEMA, for mobilization of regional deployment teams and provision of direct support of countries requiring immediate response. Prime Minister the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit has spoken out on the recent issue of Dominica being without an opposition leader. According to Prime Minister Skerrit, the constitutional provision for an opposition leader does not pose a threat to Parliament or the functioning of the state.
It is always better and desirable that there's an opposition leader in office. And for me, I would like to have an opposition leader in office. But it does not stop the work of Parliament. It doesn't stop the work of the country. In the situation where you do not have a leader of the opposition, and I have to advise Her Excellency the President on a matter which requires my consultation, requires me to consult with the leader of opposition, but there being none, I simply have to indicate in my letter that there being no leader of opposition, then I am therefore tendering my advice to you.
Ahead of the upcoming budget presentation, Prime Minister Skerrit has hinted that he may consider providing a fair chance for robust debate. He sees this as a step towards showing democracy in action.
I will give the member for Marigot equal time taken by the Minister of Finance to present his budget in his response. Because I believe that, I always support there being robust debate and let ideas contend. I may not agree with everything they say, but I think it is good to have the robust debate.
The Prime Minister has clarified the role of the senators in Parliament, in the parliamentary process, educating the public that senators do not have the authority to vote on a vote of no confidence, as this power is reserved for elected members of Parliament. There is no provision in the Constitution that grants senators the ability to determine who becomes the leader of the opposition or Prime Minister.
If you're not part of the process of determining who gets appointed, you cannot decide who gets unappointed or disappointed. Because he who appoints must be able to disappoint. And the inverse, if you cannot disappoint, then you cannot appoint. So if you cannot be part of the decision so you in the Parliament as a senator, you cannot get somebody out, then you can't get the person in either. So senators cannot vote to decide who becomes the leader of the opposition. Cannot advise the person. Because senators only exist after a Prime Minister has been appointed and after the leader of the opposition has been appointed.
The Ministry of Education is hosting Teachers' Summer Workshop in collaboration with the IT for Dominica Foundation. The program, which began on Monday, July 8, is scheduled to run for 2 weeks with participants engaging in 4 courses, all aimed at increasing teachers' proficiency in information technology. This, as government through the Ministry of Education understands the importance of integrating technology in education.
What's interesting in my course, we're looking at technology leadership. And so working with the teachers and teacher leaders from Dominica, we're able to put together strategy, planning, templates, and other documentation that will hopefully help give them a good sense of their directions in terms of technology visioning, what teaching and learning with technology can look like in a really purposeful way, and all in all work towards a goal of being able to help support excellence in learning for kids.
The course will help teachers identify the benefits of students having access to technology when in a classroom.
The people in this room are an exciting group to work with. They're the people who are using artificial intelligence in teaching and learning already. They have been doing computational thinking and coding. They are very well aware of the benefits and the problems with cell phones in the classroom. And so in our conversations, we're putting together a vision that pushes forward what's good and sets up those guardrails so that the distractors are kept at bay.
At the end of the workshop, some teachers will receive Chromebooks to enhance their work.
The Rotary have provided a small number of Chromebooks that we will be distributing to some members in our classes at the end of our 2 weeks together. Not only that, there is also another set of Chromebooks that we are hoping to open up for teachers and schools to apply for through a grant process.
The IT for Dominica Foundation provides technology and training to the educators and learners of Dominica. The foundation falls in line with government's mandate of building a digital economy. Learning with information technology is part of Dominica's long-term vision, as in all classrooms, teachers and students know the importance of connecting people and connecting with information in this modern age. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services regrets to inform the public that dental services at the Roseau Dental Clinic located on Bath Road have been temporarily disrupted due to unanticipated electrical issues. The electrical issues stem from a small electrical fire which occurred during the workday on Monday. As a result, all dental procedures for the day were immediately halted. This prompt decision was taken, firstly, to ensure the safety and well-being of patients and staff, and secondly, to prevent damage to the very sensitive dental equipment. As such, clients holding appointments scheduled for July 10 and 11, 2024 are advised that these appointments have been postponed. The electrical division has made assessments and the technical team is working diligently to resolve the issue and restore full functionality within 24 hours. Once services have been restored, patients with scheduled appointments will be contacted directly by the administrative team to reschedule. The ministry understands the importance of uninterrupted dental care and is committed to resolving this issue swiftly. Regular updates will be provided via local media and the ministry's social media platform. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services apologizes for any inconvenience this may have caused and appreciates your understanding and patience during this time. And now for the weather advisory. A high-pressure system is expected to remain the dominant feature across the area during today, resulting in a relatively dry atmosphere. Low-level clouds moving with the wind flow are expected to result in occasionally cloudy skies with a few isolated showers. A weak trough can be expected to result in an increase in cloudiness with an increased chance for showers across the area. Slight to moderate seas can be expected in open water, with waves peaking near 7 feet during the period. And as we're in the midst of the hurricane season, it's crucial to take proactive steps to protect yourself and your family. Today's tip: move your cars. Move cars to higher ground or park them in your garage against the garage doors. Do not park under trees, power lines, or in low-lying areas. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Julian Morris. Thanks for watching.